Alright, people. Alright, what's going on? What's going on, people? Let me see. First of all, are we live? Yeah, people. إن الحمد لله وكفاه والصلاة والسلام على رسوله المصطفى وعلى عباده الذين ارتضى ومن بهداهم اهتدى وبآثار أهل المدينة اقتفى وبعد فالسلام الله على القوم المظلومين Allah المسجونين. This is lockdown going down. People, can you all see me, by the way? I don't know if you can or not, but this is actually, audio is a little loud and scratchy. Right, okay, let me see. It's got the mic and it's got the don't know which mic is. One moment. Right, let me see. Is that, I don't know if it's gonna make any difference. I'm trying to adjust some of the, this is a different PC and stuff that I'm using right now. As you can see, it's a different place I'm seated at, so audio is jittering. Still jittering? One moment. What's going on? Should I use, what is this? Un momento. Let me see. Now I could use, if I use this, and then if I pause this, is this any better by any chance? I don't know if that's audio still jittery. It's still, audio is horrible. Audio is not working. Is the audio any better, people? Hello. The audio is still horrible. Right. Trying to, let me go into properties, change the audio thing again. Audio is good now. But then they're gonna be like, why is he swearing? I'm asking, is the audio right? They go, no, it's not good. Then they go, the audio is, then they go, now it's perfect. Then they go, now it's crap. Alright, cool. People, well, let me bring on today. This is Mindtrap with Mufti Abu Layth. This is the lockdown beta version. We're just running a few samples, but since we were having a chat anyway, we're like, well, what the hell? Let me bring in my esteemed guests, people. First of all, the first bechara we're going to bring in, let's see if he's got any volume as well, is, people, that's Muath, our homeless brother who's currently in double trouble. One for being homeless, two for being in breach of the quarantine. No, I don't know if you can hear Muath. Muath, can you speak? Can anybody hear you?
Yeah.
All right.
Assalamu
I don't know if you guys can
alaikum.
hear him, but and we've got, get Allah here, people. Somebody, no, that's not somebody breaking in. That would be that would be the wrong time to do things like that, people, because it's clearly, obviously, everybody is. Alright, what is going on, mi gente? What is going on? So it's lockdown, as you can imagine, people. We've alright, so talk to me. What is, people are saying the audio is good, so we were having a chat anyway. This is those of you that can see, there's Momo right there. What do you prefer to be called, Momo? Momo,
Hello, school.
and you've got Muath over there. So we were having a chat anyway. I thought, you know what? How about somebody said, why did you say that, Mufti? Why did I say what about what? I hardly ever say anything that's politically incorrect. So talk to me. What is going on? So we're having a chat. We thought, you know what? Let's let's get our thoughts out there, right?
Allah,
Allahu
madad,
Akbar. I
madad,
mean,
madad.
this. I want to know. Can people? Can they hear? They can hear
Yes. No, the subtitles thing is a bit off.
subtitles.
So what it is, it's automatically subtitling what you're talking about, then for showing up for everyone else.
Ah, right. Okay. So you can hear Momo. Muath, if you speak, let me just see. Can we hear you speak?
Can you hear
Muath?
me? Assalamu alaikum, people.
Oh,
The
right. So
Sheikh.
it's kind of fluctuating between you two. Okay, that's fine. Right. So can we ask you questions? Yeah, go for it. These are both students of knowledge, right? All right. I know you guys are watching that screen. So those two over there, those two. So Momo and Muath are both friends and students who are currently, I mean, right now they're on lockdown, but they're currently studying in Azhar and Egypt and privately. So we could take some discussions, some questions. Uh,
What I'm saying.
we can maybe throw it at some of the youngins over here. What do you think? Momo, MM's audio is a little loud.
Okay. I'm trying
Is
to
that
sort. Is
Is
that
that
from your
okay?
end
So,
of
oh wait,
time?
oh no, no, no! You guys don't do anything. I got this. I got this.
Ah.
I got this. That should be a lot better now. Speak, Momo.
Can
All
everyone
right,
hear?
it's okay. It's okay. You said too much enough. Why do you always keep talking? For God's sake.
What? Too much.
Momo's having childhood flashbacks. So what's Momo gets an echo? Momo's got an echo. Is that because um the desktop? No, the desktop audio is switched off. Momo, it shouldn't be that there's something feeding back. There's not
Oh,
two things. You haven't got two things on, have you? You haven't got a
no,
phone and a. All
no.
right, cool. So go on then. Let's take a look at some of the questions. Look at this. Somebody straight away wanting to talk about Aqidah and the Asharis behave. The whole world is in lockdown. So, and he wants
Yeah,
to
man.
talk, of all things, he wants to speak of free will. Does it look like we got any goddamn free will?
Obviously,
You
we're
got three
struggling.
people here trapped in quarantena right here. So
Exactly.
what's going down? Where can I find a list of mudallisin? Well, you can just find that in the books of mudallisin. There's many books of mudallisin and matrukin, nasa'i. You'll get a few if you just look it up. What else? What are some interesting? You know what? Why don't we? Whilst people are putting some questions,
Yeah.
uh, let's just get our thoughts. This whole thing that's going on right now, worldwide. Momo is also somebody with a keen interest in political science, political history.
Yeah.
Muath as well has also had a history of politics throughout his life. so that kind of puts us in some position to talk about things. What is going on, man? What do we think? Do we agree with this lockdown? Do we not agree? ¿Qué está pasando?
I think, I think it was inevitable, wasn't it? I mean, obviously, off screen we were speaking about this for quite some time, so I feel like it was inevitable. I mean, people can say it was a bit late, it's a bit delayed, but you know. And to be fair, I mean, admittedly, I didn't really understand why people were locking down until I kind of watched what people who are on frontline NHS staff are saying that all this is to slow the curve down. Like no health system in the world, be it the best, let alone the worst, would kind of handle it being overwhelmed if it come down to too many people getting sick at once. So I kind of understand it now.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, man?
Because do you think? Look, we were just saying earlier on, Boris coming into his career, you were saying that this, he's wanted to do this his entire life.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, you've been following him quite closely, I take it. Shows what people do when they get bored, but so, but any person, let's just be honest, any person coming into this at this stage,
Yeah.
inheriting this, or finding themselves in this problem, not actually inheriting, because you wouldn't inherit this problem, but finding yourself in this problem, could anybody handle this?
No, but it's like the famous saying, Sheikh. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Mm-hmm.
And Boris Johnson's premiership was that he had the best premiership. He has the best premiership you could say since Tony Blair, really. Because the Gordon Brown inherited a financial crash. David Cameron came with a coalition government. Theresa May had to command a coalition government with minority in parliament. And then you had Boris Johnson. He's been seen as the hero of Brexit. He's been a very loved mayor of London. He's got a good economy and he's got an overwhelming majority in parliament. Like, what the odds are in his favour. He took places from, his election took the heartlands of Labour support away and gave it to Tories, which I haven't seen in decades. So, he was in very good stead. And look at him now. I'm chilling, and then, Corona's like, naughty.
You see, it's amazing, a force that's invisible.
Exactly.
And I was actually thinking about this. This is for all people watching this as well. I was thinking about this, that the person who was patient zero, subject zero, can you just imagine, like, what they must be thinking if they're still alive? That. So they must have, as I was saying, with you guys, they must have read like a fortune cookie saying, you know what, you're going to make a huge difference to the world in 2020. And even their dad couldn't have imagined the kind of difference they'd make. Wow.
But you've seen what Trump's saying about he wants the country to go back to work on April the 12th.
Trump wants the country to go back to work on April the 12th.
Saying that we can handle it. But he's about the money. And also he says, he's been pushing conspiracies where he says that, people are trying to lock the country down, so it hurts him badly in the polls.
Fixing up, for those of you asking, I've fixed up Momo's mic, hopefully. So yeah, carry on, sorry.
It's an election year for America, isn't it?
Yeah. A lot of politics. What about this hydroxychloroquine? I mean, the anti-malaria thing. In addition, with some other, shouldn't people be excited about all of this though? Or nah, not really. What are you're following the politics? The new drugs, because Trump, from what I've come across, he's trying to push this, isn't he?
Well, the drugs and the
new drugs. Yeah. The anti-malaria. Is this just? You think it's just to get people back out there for his vote campaign?
100%. He's on the campaign trail.
Yeah, but then what would be the purpose of if he's going to put the public back out there that are just going to cripple the country?
Was it not 3 weeks ago he didn't believe it?
Yeah, but okay, now you've got dead bodies coming in and things like this.
I don't know. Trump. I don't know. Right. As much as I despise Trump, you have to rate him, man. He's done what no one thought he would do.
Mm-hmm. What is that?
Blacked his way to the top and become president next.
Hi, Trump. Zeva, you're doing it right. Awesome. How would you describe Islam if you were to relate polytheism with with polygamy and monotheism with monogamy? What is Allah, man and woman in Islam? People, your question right there. And the clock starts now. No. The question is, how would you describe Islam if you were to relate polytheism with monotheism? No, sorry, if polytheism with polygamy and monotheism with monogamy. Where is Allah in all of this? And where is man and woman?
Sick games.
These are some sick games going on at this time of night.
We've got
Is this the creation of a new genre? Is it happening right here on Mindtrap?
in the room today.
Say that again.
We've got Salafi Aqid in the room today.
Right, so
Man,
Momo, do you find in your studies you're being pre-programmed into a certain way of thinking? What do you think?
I feel like if I hadn't studied with you, Sheikh, before, then yeah, 100%. Obviously, not 100, not pre-programmed, but obviously you're studied, you're on a certain manhaj of study, isn't it? But
The live
obviously,
stream seems to be lagging. Okay, I mean, if it this, by the way, for those of you that are tuning in, um, this is because what does this mean? Lower your encoder settings, applications, heavy on the G. Okay, I'm gonna. Yeah, carry on. Sorry. Those of you that are watching, by the way, this is a kind of just like a kind of dummy trial thing. We were just having a chat anyway. A bunch of us were on Skype. I was trying this out, the whole Mindtrap thing, and I thought, well, why not go live whilst we're at it and just share some thoughts during the actual podcast as it goes, as it's up and running. It will be in much, hopefully in better quality in terms of streaming, because I'll have an idea of how to set some of um, the encoder settings, as I'm seeing some warnings here. But carry on, yeah. Kind of just like
no,
the,
we were
yeah.
talking about my pre-programmed study. I don't think it's deliberately pre-programmed, man. I think every teacher just kind of gives what they kind of, what they've been taught, isn't it? Or the way they've been taught.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like obviously it's probably, I think if I hadn't studied with Mufti before, it'd probably be easier to get away with, to probably be easy studying with certain people because you don't have you don't have those kind of preconceived notions or preconceptions of what it is to study Islam. You just follow what you've been taught. And now it's like, when I studied with Mufti, you've been taught to challenge everything, not take everything as face value, question everything, and maybe people who are seen more traditional will not maybe respect that or accept that. I don't know, Muath, what do you think, man?
I think with Egypt, see, it's interesting because Azhar in itself is meant to be kind of promoting critical thinking.
Yeah.
And that manhaj is known to kind of like, if you want to say like the modernist kind of way of or the modernist understanding of Islam, which generally people do see as like that. So if you look at in many parts of the world, the ulama, um, I think the thing with Egypt is because when people don't really
No.
understand that there's Azhar Institute and
Yeah.
then there's Mashayikh and then there's separate kind of like smaller kind of institutes like Ma'hads.
Yeah.
Um, it depends on what or like what you come across, who you come across. Because I've seen people that become, if you want to say, are very critical when they first come into Egypt, and then they actually become quite close-minded after sitting with some of these mashayikh.
Also, the opposite is true as well. People become very close-minded and then end up leaving very open-minded by the time they leave. So
Yeah, because I remember, because what I found interesting was that I was told that if we're going to limit this discussion, let's just say to Al Azhar, that it promotes, let's just say, critical thinking, and you could be any background, and you can, and it's they're going to get you to kind of like, they're not going to they're not really going to just feed you one type of manhaj.
yeah,
It's not going to be pure dogmatism, but then I remember then seeing like some of the students, or let's just say even seeing some of the discussions, I didn't realize it's very like Ash'ari, like because I was told that if you can be Salafi, you can be Sufi, you can be Maturidi, Ash'ari, whatever kind of background, in terms of sticking to one madhab or allowing talfiq. But they're very, but I realized Azhar in itself is still dogmatic in its way. Maybe in Aqidah is. In fiqh, I know they're a bit more kind of like,
do you
you want to
not
say,
do you not find Muaz, it's definitely the American students. I find
uh,
that for me, the American students, because they, for whatever reason, many of the Americans who study Islam are practicing crowd. They're very against liberalism and liberal movements. So the
yeah,
Islam has to also be conservative. So the
yeah.
Islam has to be like one madhab, one school of aqidah.
Yeah, 100%. Because I remember even like when I would discuss with some of the students,
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like exactly the way you're describing it. And is they whatever seems to be kind of like conservative would be seen as the Islamic view.
Yeah. Tradition.
Let's just say you ask, okay, what about certain scholars holding certain positions? Then I think it becomes like kind of like cognitive dissonance for them. Um,
Oh, cognitive dissonance, rather big word there.
so, yeah, no, definitely. I think with the British students, see, it's weird because I remember even speaking to some of the British students. I find them to be on a personal level, they're a lot more chilled out
Yeah.
The
and more
who is more chilled out? The
The British.
British.
Yeah.
yeah,
The
when
British
some of
are
the
more
British.
chilled out than the
On a
Americans.
personal level, yes.
I do, but at a personal level, maybe they might be close-minded in terms of views, but in terms of they will still kind of like want to chill out with you. They will still,
But I put that down to because Americans, especially Muslims in America, don't so much have culture. So what I mean
They
by
don't
yeah,
have culture.
what I mean by that is they turn Islam into a culture.
like they bring it
Oh,
down to
right,
identity
okay.
politics.
Yeah, identity. So the Islam is their identity. So any
But
attack on that, anything, any like any kind of disagreement with that is attack
but
on
do
their
you
whole
not
being.
like seriously speaking? Do the British people not do the same? In some ways, much more. Would you not feel that?
No, because the British people would have been they very known they Pakistani, for example, or they're Arab, for
Yeah,
example, or they have an identity already that is separate from religion.
Hmm. Okay. Hmm.
yeah, makes
So
sense.
you
I
think
mean,
okay? So you found them to be the Americans to be more kind of what like dogmatic or more uptight or what are we
yeah,
saying?
100%. In regard, I mean, when it comes to the views, British students and American students might be the same as in views wise. I mean, like as people, like I find that Americans like there's no separation between them and their views, if that makes sense. No separation
Yeah,
between them and their identity of religion. For Americans, for example, whereas British people they have their strict views maybe, but as people they're very chilled out and very affable.
yeah,
Okay, I mean, a lot of people ask. You guys are studying abroad, obviously. Right now, there's the lockdown, but as students, you're at different stages of your life slightly. I mean, similar age group, but I mean, Momo, you're 25 now, I take it, or
26.
26,
Yeah.
and Muath, you're 21. Yeah,
22,
22. Yeah.
22.
So a lot of people ask sometimes, look, I want to study Islam. I want to do this. Should I go abroad? What should I do? And it's interesting because obviously I would have an opinion, but if I'm when I went to study abroad, it was when I went off to study. It was the late 90s. Okay, and I
Yeah.
came back in 2005. It's now 15 years. The world has moved on. It's been through so much. What do you guys think about? I know you're in it already, but
Yeah.
for somebody who's not in it, for somebody who's you see, because it might be different that you've already got so many years invested. You've got you've got ways set up now. You've got a routine. You're confident, comfortable. What about people? Somebody who's young now. They want to study. What are your thoughts? Is this still something that is still an open door of opportunities? Is this something now? It's things are very different. What do you guys think? Somebody who wants to go to study, should they pack their bags and go or no? Let's. What are your thoughts on this?
Should I mean, the thing is, it's interesting because I think I think in this day and age, because of, let's say, the use of technology, there's a lot of things available online, and the Western kind of Islam, like well, Islam in the West, has obviously progressed. So you've got mashayikh now, we've got institutes in the UK, in America, in Canada. So there is a lot of stuff there. The thing is, I mean, because I've got even like some relatives that have asked me about Islamic studies and whether it's worth going abroad. Um, like personally, from my experience, I would then ask them, why do you want to go abroad, or what do you want to do with Islamic studies? Because there's no money in there in that sense. Like if you just want to become like an
Wait a minute.
imam
There's
or
there's there's no money. What qualify that? What are we talking about? How did it shift to money? You mean I just for just to
yeah, because
clarify your angle?
because the thing is, the question is, what would be the objective? Like if you're studying Islam for a personal thing,
Mm-hmm.
Now you've got that available. You've got institutes. You know, if you want to study, let's say Arabic, there's so many things available. If you want to study fiqh, you can sit with scholars. The thing is now you're going to spend like 5 to 8 years abroad. The question is why.
So,
Like if you want to become like a scholar, if you want to go into academia, okay, that's a certain kind of route. If it's going to be, let's just say, like I just want to learn Islam,
yeah.
then you're kind of throwing yourself in the deep end in that sense because there's a lot of things
As
you have
in,
to take
it's
into
not a
consideration what
good
you can do
thing.
when you come.
You
I would,
would recommend, you'd say it depends. What are we
I would
saying?
it depends on what you want to do. So
Here
if
I
you
am,
want,
a
yeah,
20-year-old. Is that like a
See,
dumb impersonation? But I'm here like I don't know how 20-year-olds would now. Hey, it's all good. We hate toxic masculinity. I don't know. But let's say a 20-year-old, I say I want to study Islam. I mean, is it a good idea still? Is it not, or does it depend? Or are you
I
saying
feel like
get your affairs in order first? Are you
no,
saying
but
what are
it's
you
like
saying?
what Muaz was saying. It's like why? The question is why. If
Why?
is it
What do
because
I want?
yeah, what do I want? Is it because I want to have a qualification in Islam? Then yes, that's still available as far as
By
Jumina.
qualification, do you mean a degree? Do you mean the
That's
knowledge? What do
that's
you
a
mean by
yeah, degree, not knowledge.
not
Not
knowledge?
if you say I want to become, I want to like something like I find it funny. People say to me, yeah, I want to. I'm studying. I don't know. Qatar another, for example, which is like an intermediate text in Nahu. Why? Because I want to learn my deen. I'm like, no, that's not going to help you there. Like, what? Like, do you know what I mean? What? Why do you want to study Islam? I want, or because someone will say to me, I want my ibadah to be better. Well, you don't have to go for 4 years to do that. You pick up a primer text with intermediate, and then your ibadah will be correct.
yeah,
It doesn't take years to do that. So if I say I can say no, I want to be a scholar of religion, then that's different now.
yeah,
Then there's a whole process for that. Then you have to study Arabic, for example.
yeah, yeah.
Some
I,
some people are asking. Some of you asking some of these questions. I will put them across as well, and we will discuss them. It's just I don't want to interrupt Momo's flow. That's all. So okay. I
no,
mean, I
okay,
agree
the
with
question.
you that look, the world has changed so
Hmm?
much.
Yeah,
There was a time where I mean, there was a time where Islam, like when I was a kid growing up, Islam didn't really have that kind of value of, as in somebody wanted to study it. But by the time, that's as a kid, but by the time I was like in my, maybe about 17, 16, they
yeah,
emerged a culture I saw. Maybe I was just becoming observant of it at that time that all of a sudden it was interesting, Islam was. And then it started to increase, and this continued for the next several years. There was
yeah,
this almost, it began with this sincere, I want to learn knowledge, like from Hamza Yusuf, kind of his revolution
yeah,
almost, of which he kind of almost led, pioneered almost this return to Ihya Ulumuddin, let's revive the sciences of the
yeah.
deen. Then it eventually became this kind of celebdom, almost this celebrity culture of scholars and imams. Are we now in a post scholastic almost kind of, or are we still there, or is it what? You see, because
I
100%.
mean,
I don't know.
I
I
won't
mean,
say names, but if you look at the people who are, you'd say, the lead imams in the West, they're not known for their scholastic um,
mm,
Yeah,
I
endeavors.
think as
They're
you
known
still think.
for their social
Sorry.
endeavors now,
then what social what? Sorry,
like their social justice endeavors, for
social
example.
justice. I suppose a bit like what, like maybe Sheikh Omar Suleiman
I'm
or
not
other
sure
people
Suleiman, he's not.
that is
He's
doing.
a I'm sure he's an amazing person, but he's not known for scholastic language. Sheikh Hamza Yusuf was known for traditional Islam.
He was known
Mm,
for, yeah, that is true. Yeah,
He pioneered that, and no,
he did,
undoubtedly,
he did.
last century, like last decade, sorry, like traditional Islam was Hamza Yusuf,
Yeah.
and
Is he still that in the impression? Is he?
it's funny because I find that if you look on Twitter, for example, you find anyone who maybe 30 and above, 35 and above, will have a respect for Hamza Yusuf. That no
I
matter
have a
what,
deep, I have a
yeah,
deep
no matter
respect
what
for
he
him.
says or does. And remember, Sheikh, remember when we met up with Ustad Ubaidullah Evans,
Yeah, yeah,
and he said to us, he said to us that my generation will never appreciate Hamza Yusuf the way you lot have.
yeah.
And the love you lot, and the love you lot have for him, we won't have that love for him because it was that, and maybe that's probably is true. I love Hamza Yusuf as well. So
And you said that those under 30, let's say, what's the trend that you notice?
they know Hamza Yusuf as maybe they know him post 9/11 Hamza Yusuf.
Like the kind of sellout version,
Yeah.
the kind of
So-
snowflake version. This
Yeah.
is the kind of terms people
And
use.
then
I obviously disagree
ver-
with this stuff, but
And the version he is now is like someone who's football. What is the main topic for young people today? To be honest, Generation Z. It's all about social justice, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah. And on social justice issues, he's seen as someone that they can't relate to.
I see. But
Now,
I mean, is he irrelevant? Do you feel?
it's like, I feel like he's not irrelevant, but they would like him to be irrelevant, basically, if that makes sense. They think, why does he still have a say? Why is he still talking, kind of thing? Even though I disagree, I think he's got a lot to offer.
I mean,
still.
are scholars relevant anyway today?
But the thing, I think that the Generation Z, but I don't think you can put them all under one umbrella personally. Different people in different circles. What circle do you want? Circles that go to universities?
I mean, we could. I mean, I suppose it's an open question. It's not.
Well, open question, isn't it? Like, okay, scholars are still relevant to people who are studying Islam. Yes.
Yeah.
Then scholars are still relevant. That's it. Those people are still relevant. People who are studying, who go to the everyday Muslim, nope. The person who goes to university and is interested, is practicing but not studying Islam full time, they don't really care what they say.
But do you feel that in some, let's say, rural parts, let's just say in Birmingham, Al Amraq, Small Heath, these areas, they still look up to that preacher type of kind of, like the younger. I'm surprised that's even still.
No, I think that's everywhere. Do you mean by that as in they have an adulation, a sense of respect for them? Is that what?
Yeah,
you mean?
don't conflict preacher and scholar. There's very different things here.
No, but if you're going to use that as in a broad term, because the thing is, people don't really differentiate. So when we say scholar, they generally use it as a kind of like people will listen to like preachers out there. They assume they're scholars.
The scholars are not respected for knowledge, then, are they? Like Mufti Menk is a good example.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree with you that I mean, I'm just saying that how people see them. That when we say that our scholars still relevant, I think, for example, now let's say for academics, they might be relevant. But let's.
They might be relevant. They are. You feel for academia they are relevant.
I think. I mean, it's interesting because I remember.
I mean,
me and
Momo
Momo
just said Mufti Menk. Now, Mufti Menk is, in my understanding, he's seen as somebody who he gives off like that kind of like almost.
Like the angelic type of.
Yeah, that kind of. It's almost like a relic in the sense that he's there for blessings. He gives a nice preachy kind of iman boosting kind of. When people want to feel bad about them, they want to feel guilty sometimes. Like they want to feel that they want to be told, look, and they want to be told nice stories as well. And he kind of fulfills that role. And he's very, he's always smiling, which is good. So.
I mean, I think with the let's say with the academics, let's say if you want to take university as an example. I mean, it's interesting because I remember I was speaking to Momo about Twitter, and he was saying like, there is like this kind of clash between the academics and the traditional scholars. Yeah. So, and I think now I think what's interesting is let's say people that don't have a traditional training in Islamic studies, they can still acquire that because if you know Arabic, you can read up books yourself. They can, and you see people. Let's just say as an example, if you can throw the name out there, let's say Daniel Hakikachu as an example.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
example of what? Sorry.
Now he is an academic. Like his background is in.
No, I'm just saying, just to be clear. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he's not really.
Say that again. Sorry.
You're not saving this live, are you?
Am I not saving it?
You're not saving
this is live. We are live, Habibi. This is this is the world in front of us, bare and raw. So, Naam, about Daniel Hakikaju, what about him? Yeah.
Using him as an example, whether we agree with him or disagree with him, but I'm saying he's someone that doesn't necessarily he's
not going to put a hit on your head or anything. You can talk freely. Even if he did, because of the lockdown, the hitmen won't be able to get there. It's. No, I'm just joking. I'm sure. Yeah, but As in, he's an academic person. He's somebody who went
Yeah,
to, I think he went to Harvard, didn't he, or something? Did he go Harvard or my?
Yeah, he went to Harvard and
He
did
went to
something like
Harvard.
or something.
but
Or
if you see him now, he kind of like he doesn't actually have traditional training in Islamic studies, but he's kind of seen as a scholar now. Even though if you look at him,
That
he
is
doesn't
true.
actually. So it's interesting how I think the access to like the sacred sciences is becoming more accessible. So I think with now the question is traditional, let's say the traditional Islamic studies curriculum, would that be relevant to people, or let's say the future scholars? Because
See,
nowadays,
somebody had posted here. Yusuf Hamza had said scholars can be relevant, but sadly they are not. What is it that they could do to be more relevant? Do you think, or more? I don't. You see, I'm actually a bit stuck. What do we mean here by relevant anyway? What do you understand, Momo, when we're saying relevant? What do you understand?
but relevant to who?
No. Okay, that's a great question. Now we've got on to who. Now we need to define who.
No, but relevant to who?
Like that,
What
that meme with the clip from
relevant?
The Office with the COVID-19, and it's like, and they've got the guy saying, "How did that happen?" And it says China. How did that happen? So okay, first of all, this question: are scholars relevant? What do we understand the word relevant here to mean? By the way, what do you
I think
understand from it?
for me, it's someone who engages with the day and age.
Well, that's how I kind of understood it as well.
Someone who engages
Um,
with the day, and someone who's not merely a historian of the law. Historian of the law. For me, a jurist is not like to do naqal of texts
He's
of
not a knucklehead.
yeah, not knucklehead, but that's easy. That's
Yeah.
like I can just pick up Arabic and then you can learn it in 6 months to a year and just read and copy and paste. That's not scholarship. For me, a scholar will be someone who engages with and provides answers for the day and age.
Is that, you see, now we're going into thought processes.
Yeah.
So if they are somebody that has studied,
Yeah.
they have done this, but they're not really producing any original thought or even that kind of thought process, are they not then
I would
scholars?
say some scholars, but no, personally, I wouldn't.
But
I
then
think
is that not? What about you, Muath? Would you consider them scholars?
You're a historian of the law.
I mean, the thing is, I used to have this discussion with other people, like, and I realized this with actually
Okay,
some of the American.
are you trying to show off that you used to have discussions with other people as well?
Ah,
Are you trying to tell us that you've got more friends than us? Is this what?
Well, some of them are not, and some of them are not.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so you were saying yeah, of course, when
Yeah.
you have discussions with other people, unlike us,
I mean,
us loners.
even like people would say like, someone that's studied for us, let's say 8 years, or have done the traditional Islamic studies program, are they still scholars? Because if you look at it, like what Momo was saying, that they just copy and paste. The thing is, one is, I mean, people out of respect would say that they're scholars, but I, I think whether them being relevant, it all just depends on their background, because most of the, let's just say the scholar, because most of the scholars as well are not really relevant to, let's say, to the youth, right? As opposed to, let's say, even tackling with major issues, theological issues, issues in jurisprudence. So the thing is, I mean, I would say, I mean, we have to see the future. I guess so. In the next, let's say, 5 or 10 years.
Did anybody understand what Muath just said? Is that? I think it's just probably COVID that's got me. That's all. I don't know. I was like, what is he between trying to fathom what he's saying and trying to think? Is somebody about to leap out of that wardrobe behind him?
it's 7 a.m. in Egypt. He should be forgiven. It's late in Egypt.
No, I'm joking. Yeah, so no, I think that's some good, very interesting thought. That what is scholarship? I do agree. I would personally, if somebody has been through the training or they've studied the Islamic sciences, I would consider them to personally be a scholar. I would say that they are scholars. But then,
You're saying scholarship. You're equating scholarship here to a qualitative acquisition of knowledge.
yes, so I would personally, but then I would still have a problem with those kind of scholars that are not, which is because because the question at hand is that's the majority of these so-called scholars are not critical thinkers. They're not people with original thought. If I didn't consider them scholars, I would then barely think that there are any scholars, because people with original thought are so few. What's that? Sorry.
And they're not many scholars.
I feel that there are scholars, but I would then have a problem with these people as a kind of failed, that they are failing the people. So it's like if you've got doctors, they've graduated, they've done the thing, they are doctors, but then there's gross negligence. Let's say there's, they are failing the people.
Isn't it an issue when traditional Islamic studies turned into that kind of routine, like to that route of academia, and at the end of it, you're given a certificate, and now you're a Mufti, or now you're a Sheikh or an Ustad. Wasn't that the problem? Like, I don't know, historically, wasn't it more of like you sat with a teacher, you applied so many different things, and then your teacher kind of said, okay, yeah, we're kind of ready.
Yeah, I mean, but the question.
So you're comfortable in saying someone who goes through 6 years out in the army is a scholar?
You see, I would accept that as scholarship. I would, but now there's an issue with the quality. So there's a quantitative element. There's a qualitative element. I would accept the quantitative element.
Would you admit that overwhelming majority of those who come out of the Arsenal army, 6 years, 8 years, however it may be, are failed scholars?
So somebody's asked, what's Mindtrap? There you go. You've fallen right into it. That's it, people. That's what Mindtrap is. So yeah, sorry, carry on.
Well, would you accept that the majority of those who, and if you do accept this, by the way, give it a percentage. Or would you accept that the majority of those who do Arsenal in the army, for example, or those who come out of any of the luminaries across the world, Azhar, Cairo, are low level or failed scholars?
Or low level?
Or low level scholars or failed scholars, would you accept that?
Yeah, So I would accept the quantitative.
What percentage of that, of those people, just for a number?
Of the who I think are kind of failing people.
Yeah, those who graduate.
I would feel maybe 95%.
Okay, it's an overwhelming majority, yeah?
Yeah.
So isn't that then an indictment of our system that's not worked then? Our system is not producing scholarship.
Spot on. That's true.
So,
Or is it? But is that because, for example, the apparatus, or as in this case, not the equipment, but the books, are useless or redundant, or more so, the teaching methods are problematic?
okay. I mean, either way, it can be both, or one of them, or both. Either way, it shows that our system is not producing scholars.
It is not that. I agree on the conclusion. That is true. Yeah, it's not producing scholars. Right. So people are. I mean, this is it's a fascinating discussion. Really, I'd love to, on this, explore this with many people. I'm getting your thoughts. You guys are still on that end, going through the whole process. You're on the kind of conveyor belt to achieving scholarship in this whole,
Sure.
as in imamship, or if I can call it that. Yeah, so it's a fascinating journey. I have to say though, I do love the Islamic sciences. I love the learning, the different aspects. It is something which is in and of itself a wealth that is an unrivaled kind of wealth that Sufyan al-Thawri, they transmit from him, that he was asked, and he said if people knew, they would fight us over it with swords, as in if they knew what this thing was valued at. But either it is that, or maybe Sufyan al-Thawri was high at the time. People are posting some questions. Let's see some. Right, so somebody's saying Abu Layth got the akimbo. I don't know what that is. H-Town in the house. I don't know what that is. Mufti's got bazookas. All right. Right, well, so, there was a question here that went a little while back. I want to tackle it. There's a lot of talk, this coronavirus being a punishment from God? Well, let me just throw it out, infect you guys with it first. What are our thoughts, man? Momo, what do you think? I mean, um,
I
is
personally,
this
I
one of the
personally don't buy it, man.
plagues?
Nah, I personally don't buy it, man. I think naturally people are going to blame, you know, God, not blame God, but say, oh, it's punishment from God. We've turned away from God because it's an easier scapegoat, isn't it?
You see, I don't mean I don't. Yeah, so that's one aspect. That is this from God? I don't believe this is from God. This is a virus.
Mm.
But what do we think about this whole narrative of saying that
Yeah,
this is God purging filth
yeah,
from His creation? I mean, what do we think of this as a narrative that people are, because people are sharing this, ain't they?
yeah. Of
You've
course.
definitely
Yeah, yeah, I've seen that.
you have, haven't you? So,
Yeah.
what do you think of that? Is that doing harm? Is it doing good? Is it something? Is it bothersome? I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, I'll let you share your
No,
thoughts first.
I'm just, no, I mean, think about it. I know, I kind of feel like it is definitely detrimental personally.
If okay,
Detrimental because I feel like what else then is a punishment from God?
you said earlier on that when we were chatting that the scholars are doing a global Toba.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that. What are they doing Toba? What
Yeah,
is
they
that
say
they've been doing that they're
it's
doing Toba from?
simple, but it's in line. I find it very interesting because I think in Islam we don't have that precedent, but in Christianity we do. In Catholicism we do. Catholicism, come on, save yourself from purgatory, save yourself from the hellfire. Come on, give your tithes, for example. Come on, do your confessions. It's very Catholic-like, isn't it? But you're very Catholic. Like we must be purged of our sins. We don't come and do your confession, pay your tithes, for example, whatever it may be. I don't find that precedent within Islam, but we have this like, okay, now, clearly God is punishing us. We almost turn back to Him.
This, I mean, this is happening everywhere. Yeah, a lot of people are doing it. In
Mm.
some ways, I can understand that people need to connect. So they want to
Yeah,
kind of connect with Allah in times of difficulty.
of
I
course.
get that. And I watched this dua by Maulana Tariq Jamil Saab, where
Yeah,
he's really crying, very emotional, incredibly emotional dua. And I can understand that. Some things in it, that this is a time for reminders, for us to ponder upon creation,
yeah,
nature, that something invisible has brought the whole world to a standstill. Are
of
you so
course.
arrogant about your powers? Are you so
Yeah,
arrogant about your And I think, in some ways that is a true, that does, it did hit me. I'm not going to lie.
yeah,
I heard that and I thought, damn. Like you
yeah,
said, like Allah said to Qawm Aad, the Qawm Aad that look at you, you think your strength is this and so on. There's that side, and that side, I feel that. I feel it, and I think that, there is, that there are huge receptors for that, meaningful
yeah,
receptors. But then there's a side like I saw some people doing this whole, just this kind of like just crying. It's not so much about the emphasis, but more about feeling really terrible
yeah,
as a person. Like, let's, feel real guilty. Like, that this is because of my sins.
yeah,
Allah is doing this. I mean, this I have. You see, I find that problematic. I mean, I don't know
yeah.
what.
Why?
Why do I find that problematic? Because I feel that, first of all, this isn't because of some. This isn't because of our sins.
Yeah,
Okay, but it is. It does have, like anything in life, has an ibra. You can take heed from it. Like
yeah,
saying that, look, wow, something microscopic, invisible, has brought the world to a standstill.
yeah,
Look at the power of Allah. Like what He can. It has that, and that, strikes a chord. But for somebody to say, we should say, I should be crying that this is really because of me sinning.
yeah,
I'm thinking, I'm about to. Then they're gonna say, "Why does Mufti swear?"
yeah.
I'm gonna say, "What has my sinning got to do with some guy in Wuhan? Like eating a bat or whatever he's doing."
Yeah. But Sheikh, is there this? is there any of this in Islam? Not for globally, but personally. Because obviously we don't have karma within Islam, but is anything close to that, for example?
Karma.
We don't have karma, but anything close to that. But like if I do bad onto others, will I not feel anything like that? And if not, then what's stopping me from doing bad anyway?
Do,
Oh,
do, okay, would you feel karma is the only way to kind of like I get the fact that okay, I get the fact that people feel that there's accountability. I think there's if we draw that distinction
yeah,
that if
okay,
I do bad, Allah might,
yeah,
take me to account for this.
yeah,
That's one thing. I would agree with that. The other thing is I did something now automatically like that kind of samsara. This will come round and it will happen to me. What goes round comes round.
oh,
Like in a bad luck sense.
yeah, that would make sense.
Like that kind of stuff I don't believe in. Islam doesn't believe in that kind of bad luck, superstition, karma, that kind of
Yeah,
stuff. But I mean, is that what you mean, or what?
yeah,
What is the
but then,
karma? What are
so
we doing?
the
What?
question is that if I do bad to others, then not disobeying God, but if I do bad to others, should I expect bad to happen to me or no?
Right, those people posting some questions. Bottom guy talk more. What made you
So
guys think he was alive? He's just he's already gone. COVID's done the.
Taking me taking up, but
Hmm. Bottom guy's just
yeah.
taking up screen space. He's taking up oxygen as well. Useless. I've thought, Muath, maybe we can offer you as a sacrifice to COVID-19. Yeah, but I mean, this whole guilt thing coming to this. I mean, like, so who you mentioned some ulama are doing this? Is there any particular ulama, or is it every? Who have you come across? What's going on? What's the score?
I mean, I think there's few. There's a Habaib, obviously, Habaib pushing it. So like Habib Omar, Habib Al
What is
Jufri.
it that they're doing? What is it that they're doing?
It's like dhikr gatherings and tawbah for this kind of thing. Seems,
So dhikr is one thing. It's
yeah.
doing remembrance. Toba is a different thing. What's the Toba element?
No, they tell everyone like they've given out specific litanies for this
Hmm.
as a form of repentance, for example. So like a lot of istighfar, for example, they're telling the murids to increase in istighfar. The reason why. But the question is then, so Sheikh, are you saying that Allah does not give any?
Huzaifa, you're doing it. Much love right back at you.
Is there a thing of does Allah give out tests, Sheikh?
Allah does give out tests. Okay, true.
No, I'm asking. He gives out tests, yeah. He does give out tests.
Not test papers, but yeah, tests.
So,
Carry on.
what? No, I'm asking you. What's the reason for these tests?
Such as what does God get out of it?
Yeah.
You see, it depends what we mean by a test. You see, what we mean by a test, what I understand by test, isn't okay. So let me rephrase the word because I was just kind of going with as you were saying it. So yes, I believe that Allah tests. When I understand this term, I understand by as in He allows struggles.
Okay.
Like He sets or allows this dunya to present to us struggles. These struggles are tests for us.
Okay.
That's what I'm understanding. So I'm not understanding that God is saying, hey, because I'm not. I'm just clarifying in case somebody understands something else. I'm just trying to standardize our understandings. Then in this struggle, the purpose of it is growth. It is attainment. That you through this struggle will grow. Now, okay. I mean, is that what you're understanding? What are you saying?
No, because obviously when Allah says "La yukallifu Allahu nafsan illa wusaha," like Allah does not obviously give people that overburden people. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to understand what kind of test does Allah give to people, and why we do it in the first place, or are you saying just allows things to happen to you?
Like, why is Allah doing like
Why
what's up
I
with
say
what's up with Allah? Like, why is He doing these things? Is that what you?
why I say this is because throughout the many years of your teaching, for example, I've noticed that can be a bit controversial. The way maybe you present Allah, it's almost as if he's a distant God. As in he has no, he doesn't get in, because you said this, but Allah doesn't interfere with our day-to-day stuff. You say, when you explain away miracles, for example, you say this. When you explain with karamat, you say no, Allah's not going to break this nature. Allah has set its thing. So
Okay, that's
is
interesting.
it the
Do I
case Allah
feel
has
that
just
God? You see, or do you get the impression from my not the impression? You get the understanding or the impression from my teachings that God is an impersonal God.
yeah? So he set the world up and he's gone now. This just happened.
No, I definitely don't believe that. But
Okay.
I do believe that Allah is a personal God as well.
Okay.
But I feel this has been, I've said before, one of the most difficult things that humans have ever had to reconcile. That between the impersonal and the personal. And I feel the personal God is what you experience.
Okay.
You experience His intervention, you experience His... and at the kind of rational level, you understand the impersonal God. Do you understand? So I kind of feel that God has set laws in nature and He's done these things.
Interesting.
Right.
Sheikhna, but let's just say, do you feel that your understanding of God would work for everyone? Because don't you think certain people would need that kind of that kind of understanding of God which is personal? And let's say if you take
I am saying a personal God, but what I want, we've got Sid Vira, much love, yeah, right at you. He said, "This brothers are blind followers. Some people on there are blind followers. I'm sure they, I'm sure they are. That is
Which
the
ones?
problem.
You mean
You
you're
see,
blind following?
no, I don't think you mean. I think he means probably in the chat,
Okay.
as opposed to our discussion. You see, I do believe Allah is a personal God, and I feel that this is what really the meaning of the verse. That Allah says, "Laysa kamithlihi shay." There is nothing like unto Him, in the sense that you can't understand. Like you can otherwise never make a connect between the personal and the impersonal. But here, when it comes to Allah, laysa kamithlihi shay.
Okay, let's take an example of that. When you like miracles, if you were to take that as an example, now
Somebody said he finally spoke. Big up. Let me get him his own screen here. Carry on. Yep.
Yeah. So let's just say certain miracle that you would give a kind of like the way you explain it is that there's natural kind of causes for that nothing kind of supernatural happens. But do you feel that Allah wants that miracle to happen? So let's just say now if you're struggling financially, now something happens through, let's say, natural means. Did Allah want that to happen, or was that just purely the laws of nature just taking its kind of like place? Because it's always that discussion about irada in the Aqidah books. I find it very interesting when
we're talking about willpower, yeah. We're talking about as in.
So let's just say, if we were to take any scenario, like you like famous example, you give it like miracles, where someone was getting late for let's say for work, and then all of a sudden he got there on time.
Yeah.
Let's say to work on.
And this is a miracle. Like God has helped him.
But one is you can explain that through the natural means, but is that what God wanted to happen? Like, how would you kind of consider it?
Like, you want me to phone him and ask him, is that what God wanted to happen? Cha. You thought I was gonna. You thought God answers to me. Right. So those of you, some of these questions, anyone in the UK watching, God knows if anybody in the UK is watching. If Mufti woke up or he didn't sleep, sleep is for the mere mortal people. Sleep is for and then I say that and then I collapse. Vampires. Mariam, how you doing? Birmingham, big up. Alright. I trust you, more Mufti. You have more love. You're doing it. Those people, there was somebody who said, oh, could you Mufti does not believe in the deist line of thinking. I don't believe in that kind of in that line of thinking, and I wanted to just clarify that as well, because somebody said, was it Ali Hussein asking for a shout out? You're doing it, you're doing it. And is it Ali Hussein also saying M is handsome? M is very handsome, as you can see, right? Otherwise, we wouldn't have him on this live stream. Right, so just to be clear, I feel that there are different ways that within, just as you see, on the universal level, you have certain laws of relativity, special relative, general relativity. We have these laws out here. On the microscopic or subatomic level, things behave differently from a physics perspective. There's different, and hence they're trying to find a theory of everything to unite all these general forces and things like this. Now, in a similar way, taking that example, this kind of dualism almost of reality from the quantum to the cosmos, I feel that Allah has, in terms of created everything, He is obviously, He has set laws in nature, He's set things, He's given freedoms, He doesn't intervene like that from that perspective. But when you zoom into the individual within, right, Allah says, وَفِي الْآفَاقِ, in the horizons, you've got that, and then within, وَفِي أَنفُسِكُمْ. I feel that at this level, we experience God. And I feel that, like right now, look, like this coronavirus or anything that's happening, I know there's very unfortunate people, and there's many people who are fortunate, or in other difficulties in life or challenges, they may feel that, wow, like, I feel God saved me. Now, I know this may trigger other kind of, but right now we're just looking at it from the quantum level. Right now, it's just that person. Their experience here, this is the personal God that they are experiencing. Now, that doesn't, once you kind of come out to the inter-people level, in the sense like, and you're zooming out, those kind of modes of operation, you don't see them. Like, God is not going to, a tree's fallen down and say, oh my God, can you, I wish God would lift this tree up now, and then God's going to come and lift that tree up. Or it doesn't happen like that. Just as the laws of physics are not broken, but at a subatomic level, they do. A particle can be at two places at once. You understand? So and I feel that that's difficult, just as it's difficult to understand quantum physics and normal physics, it's difficult to understand the personal and impersonal God within, but I feel that it is an existence, and we do need at some point a kind of theory of everything.
What would you say, like, what is the point of dua, for example?
Of dua?
Yeah.
See, that's our kind of communication, our line of communication, our channel of communication, I would feel, with Allah. It is our opportunity to kind of reach out, to cry out. One can say, you see, one can say expressing yourself is just as meaningful to you as it is to the other. It is, isn't it? Wouldn't you say it is as meaningful? Like, expression does obviously have benefit. Obviously, it has a target expression. But one cannot strip away from it its meaningful value for the expresser. Himself or herself. True? I mean, I don't... Dua, dua, I feel, is beneficial on many levels. Does it prevent harm? You see, this is a faith issue. I would feel it could prevent harm, but obviously we would never know, because if it prevented it, it never happened. But it doesn't alter the nature of reality. Like if I said, Ya Allah, this is a Samsung phone, Ya Allah, I make dua, turn it into an iPhone. It's not going to work. I mean, it doesn't matter, not that I'd want an iPhone, but still. But my point is that it doesn't work like that. So we've got some people in the house. Mustaqim, oh my God, I'm so happy. Mufti has started, you're doing it. We've got Hashim Butt saying, are you actually a Mufti? Well, same question. Is that really your surname? But with B-U-T-T. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm joking, people. I'm joking. Polish your character, god damn it. Oh, is that to somebody else? That might be to somebody else. Not to me. Right, so, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think these are difficult questions, and what do
No,
you think is the...
I'm glad you clarified that, because I feel like from what I understood for some time, I thought you only taught in personal God.
No, Acha, cha, cha. Is this you trying to do me over live? Momo, if you want me to just sort something out, or if there's another issue, just say that. I mean, rather than screwing me over live and saying, Acha, cha, all this time I thought you were a kafir. And people are like, wait a minute, if that's what his friends think. See, this is how you get done over. This is why people, the world is in the mess that it is. They backstab me like this.
Have you not seen how people go, how people rise to the top? Come on.
This is House of Cards right here, happening, people. It's in the making. So Momo is taking me out to take the seat as
Next Monday you see Monday Nights with Momo.
Monday nights with Momo. Momo turns up. He's sitting there. He goes, "Inna alhamdulillah wa kafa." Oh, sorry, you're talking about Mufti's. That was the last season. Well, I keep thinking that somebody's gonna jump out of that wardrobe behind Muath. I don't know why. Muath, is that there symbolically?
Yeah.
To kind of say, like, you've come out of the closet, you've come out of the wardrobe. Are you trying to symbolize something that you've come out and encourage others to come out? So, some people say, who are them two guys? These two are my friends, students that we've introduced them already, Momo and Muath. Okay, both from Birmingham, both currently students who are studying in Egypt, Cairo. Although Momo did manage to make it back before the lockdown. He sneaked in, right? That's it, he got back. The purpose of life is to polish one's... The purpose of life is to polish one... Huh? What? Yeah. Polish who? Right, so... Yeah, I mean, I think... Woman... Huh? What's this? A question on... Woman did you eat on behalf of a continent? What the hell? Oh, you quoting something I quoted in a... Come on. You see, when you say something like that, you need a... Zeba has asked, answer my question. Mufti, answer my question. What was the question, Zeba? Yusuf Hamza, right. Zeba, I feel it, but this is a big bang, is a theory, a fact. Loving these vibes. Momodou rising. Momo's rising. This is it. I gotta beware. You know, the kingdom, they say, the saying is, Aag jab bhi lagti hai, ghar ke andar se lagti hai. That whenever there's a fire, it always comes from within. The virus, people, can only kill you from within. That's it. Learn something. But, see, I gotta be careful. I almost... You see, you geniuses, learn something from COVID-19. It needs to get into you first, it needs to infiltrate, and then it can take you out. What's going on here, Mufti? Natty. Right, so, have these... Right, so, Zeba, what's your question? I'll take your question. We will wrap this up. I know these guys probably need to get some sleep. I don't know what the... Big pyramids and sphinx go on. Yep, that's these two over here. They've got Egyptology on lock, people. HT Wells, you're doing it. Facebook chat looking angry. Whoa, I've not even really looked at the chat. That's why they're probably angry. I've just been really... Cairo is too hectic. Yeah, Cairo is hectic, man. Busier than London, that's true. Mufti, why don't you go mainstream with general Muslim public to teach your views? I do. I don't know what that means. What does that mean, lads? Why don't I go mainstream? What do you understand from that? I don't.
What does that mean? Got mainstream to do what? Teach
To
your views,
teach
right?
people Islam. I thought I am mainstream. Ah, your delusions of grandeur.
Hope that get
Yeah.
yeah.
And all this time I'm sitting here thinking I am mainstream. Mariam comes on here and says, Mufti, why don't you go mainstream?
Yeah.
I didn't get your question. Mufti versus traditionalists. No, Maliki in Algeria says closures of masjid is wrongdoing. Well, send him to Italy. Time to go to Italy and open up all the masjids in Italy. Prince Andrew is with Rachel 13. I don't know who that is or what Rachel 13 is. What is the question? Quite a few people are saying Zeba the question. Zeba, I didn't get the question. If you post it again, a link. There are many names of God, 100 in the Quran mentioned, but do we know God is the causer of the Big Bang? But truly, there are many more. As in, God has many names, but do we know God is the causer of the Big Bang? Or Muath, was that your Abba, your dad? Muath goes, what are you talking about? I thought that was my dad who caused the Big Bang. Muath's dad is a very good friend of mine, by the way, so it's alright, it's cool, people. I'm not violating him. So, do we think God caused the Big Bang? Or was that Vishnu? I don't know what that question truly means there, but we're trying to fathom it. We're trying to fathom it. You need to start teaching a classical text, maybe a primer on Maliki fiqh. True that, people. But it's just how are the polygamy?
I'll set up the classes. Don't worry, guys.
Yeah. Momo MM's gonna rise and try and set him up, undercut me. How do you describe Islam if you were to relate it to polytheism and polygamy? I don't think we could really understand that. I mean, I don't really relate Islam to monogamy. Do you relate it to monogamy? Is that... I mean, if Momodou, would you relate it to polygamy, monogamy? Does this question make any sense? Muath, in your case, would you relate it to celibacy? Is it... No, I'm joking. Would you... Well, what do we... Does that question make any sense to anyone here? I'm trying to... As in, can you make some sense of it? Can you relate it to... do you see... Do you think of...
No.
No? Muath?
No.
Celibacy? No? Monotheism? Monogamy? One God, one man, one woman. Not feeling it.
Not feeling it, Sheikh.
Not feeling it. Sorry, Zeba. I tried to push this theory across to them. The youth, they're not buying it. They're not feeling this. I didn't really even understand the question while but I mean, I tried to make sense of it, but no, it's definitely not a good analogy. Could you tell some good history books in English on Fatimid history? You know, I've had one right over here somewhere. Well, I'll have to get it next time. Roasted the poor guy. Come on, I didn't roast the poor guy. I was just being honest. He's a student of knowledge. He's a hard-working student of knowledge. You could tell by the size of his forearms. Muath, just go like that. There's we go. Still celibate, huh? Well, so...
I have to... My battery's gonna die.
so men are allowed 4 wives, Zeba is saying. So...
She's trying to say that men are only mushriks.
Only only one husband in Islam? Also, should women be allowed to? Do you think it should be kind of like multiple both way, swing both way, multiply? What do you think? Momo, you feeling that?
Sorry, my laptop's playing up.
What's that? Your mind's playing up?
My laptop is playing up.
What have you been watching on there? In quarantine, there's not much else to do.
Exactly.
You're like, again? You're like, I've clocked this entire website. I've clocked like 10 websites in 2 days of quarantine. No, so do you feel that it should be not just polygamy, polygyny, polyandry? I mean, not just one man, 4 women, but one woman, 4 men as well?
Nah, I think that
No, and I'm not talking about that video. I'm talking about. I'm talking about a theory. This is why I get into trouble, people. This explains my life so far, but yeah. So, what do you think?
Nah, I think it goes against nature, man.
It goes against nature.
Yeah, man.
What about an open relationship society? Come on, like let's say you've got your spouse right now. If she says, "Look, you can, you know what? I tell you what, you can have another 2, 3 women as well, but I want another 1, 2 men as well on the side."
You think I'm at the youth?
No, but if one was to argue it from trying to be rational about it, trying to say justice. You've heard of justice, haven't you?
The thing is, though, Sheikh, you know me. I'm a lover, man. I'm a ish.
They're saying it's okay. You could. She's a lover as well.
No. She
saying
loves
that's
the
where I am
streets.
as well. I'm a lover
She
as
loves
well.
the streets.
This is why I want a few more men.
I think she belongs to the streets if she does that.
Say that again.
She belongs to the streets if she does that.
Come on, that's hypocritical, because now if you're saying you can handle multiple women, why can't a woman handle multiple men? That's the question. Huh?
I think men and women love differently.
They love differently. She's saying, "Don't worry, I'll love the other guys differently. Then it's okay."
No,
Like,
I think with women there's more of an emotional attachment.
Okay, interesting. Acha.
As opposed to men. I feel like, I know it can sound wrong, but just being real, I feel like when men be intimate, it can just be that, and there's no feeling attached to it.
So men, you're saying, can differentiate between love and sex?
Yeah.
You feel women can't?
I think some women can. I'm not saying all women, but I think some.
Ooh, you know you're gonna get roasted after this by
Of course
people. You're gonna be on the supreme hate list.
It's late now, isn't it?
You feel that there is something biological in the sense that if we look across nature, we see mainly the female species are monogamous by and large, and male species are generally tend to be polygamous.
Yeah.
Right, so they have K1 said they have limited holds.
Yeah, busted now.
That's I don't know what that. See, this is the public. This is why we are like this, because that's the congregation people. Then obviously the imams are going to be like this, isn't it? Celibacy is not inherited. A man is like a fire engine. Oh, fire engine. Sorry, who are the other 2 brothers? I mean, they're not quite brothers, but Tika, if you.
We're both
on that one, Bakr. I've seen monogamous and polygamous men and women. It's true. I think it's an interesting question though, because what women are saying, some women are saying that, look, is it not? And I think that's what Zeba was arguing in here, or questioning, is that is it not? It's not fair. That I want a bit of fun as well.
Yeah.
Because to be fair, a woman could say, look, I'll tell you what, I'll be monogamous with you, but I just occasionally want... She's like, since he's black, I've heard this. I've heard the myth. She might say as an occasional. I mean, Pakistanis can only go so far. She's probably going to say, but if you see, the thing is, if a person that argument that look, okay, I'm emotionally with you, but I too occasionally, just as a one-off, like a little. I mean, from a rational point, how could one respond? That's a question.
How would you respond, Sheikh?
How? You see, this is it. It's difficult. It's difficult. Listen, what about Muath? Let's bring Muath in here. Muath, how would you respond?
Well, Sheikh Muath is practicing the art of celibacy, so
He's not practicing. He's mastered the art of.
it's imposed.
He's now a master at living, one of the few living sages, and.
I read Abdul Huda's book on it, so.
What would you say, Muath? What's your thoughts on this?
But whether women can be polygamous?
No, like if a woman is saying, "Look, it's not fair."
I mean, the thing is, if it's a desire at the end of the day, like if she wants to do that, if you're expecting the Sharia to just kind of like say it's halal, I don't really.
Oh, okay, calm down, God. Did Muath think we told him to play God all of a sudden? he tried to come in as the voice of God. Nah, I'm joking. No, carry on. Sorry.
I mean, the thing is, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, when women actually say that, do they like one? I mean, it can maybe just be like a fetish, but could they actually live like that? Because let's even like if you look at if you read up studies about women who've been in multiple relationships and or have done certain things, they do suffer, let's say, psychological issues in the future. Even let's say stigma within society, whether she's been with certain people. So I mean, I don't really think.
But even as an experiment, Sheikh, yeah, it's going to be very crude. But let's say you put a man in a room with 100 women, saying he can have sleep with any one of them. Have all of them. He will try his best.
I'm just trying to expand your caveats. I thought when you began this scenario like so well, I didn't want you to put any caveats there. I just thought that's being cruel now.
The 100 women, all of them. Yeah? Like he'll try his best to get for as many as possible. If you put a woman in a room with 100 men she can sleep with, she'll feel like she got raped.
Yeah.
Okay. Now people are going to be guessing that Momo's, they're going to be working on your imagination and the kind of things that you've been exposed to. No, but okay, that's a question. I agree with you that I think, as crude as that sounds, but I think the general kind of scenario of saying a woman generally, by and large, does not think of like an endless sea of men. That is true. Whereas men probably sick dogs. This is all they think of, isn't it? So it is. I get what you're. Yeah. So one could. A kind of asymmetry in the genders. Is this what we're saying? Yeah. Where do trans people fall in that?
That's a whole nother discussion.
Yeah.
That's a bit of calling them a discussion. That's a whole nother discussion.
That's me being nice.
No, okay. What about? I think we've got to have a discussion on that another day. The whole trans thing. I think that's. But that's actually. Momo's arguments are pretty terrible. I'm not gonna lie, Yusuf, for that.
Fair enough.
Well, if
can't please everyone.
The nut. What the hell? What's wrong with people? That's a crappy analogy. Somebody said. What do you think about Quran? It's okay. That's for a different day. You can't just go from this. Come on, behave, people. We're talking about. We've just had an analogy. We can't go from that into discussing things like the Quran, nature of the Quran. How are you going to tell who is the dad? How are you going to tell who is the dad if there's multiple guys involved? What if she says she doesn't want a child?
That's true.
She says, I just want to do this for fun. Pleasure. Because look, the argument is, remember, today monogamy is just one man
At one
one
time.
time.
Yeah.
It's not like in one relationship. Like the
Exactly.
relationship might end at the end of this year, and next year it's a different man. So
Exactly.
people are not opposed to that. They just mean one man in one nikah.
Yeah.
I mean, these are difficult. These are very difficult questions, to be honest. Paternity testing solves the issue of child. True, it does. Mm-hmm. What cannot be attained entirely is not abandoned entirely. Men's mindset. I don't. You see, I'm not saying personally as a person. I'm not saying that. Like I do accept that men are polygamous by nature more so by and large as the rule, and I accept that maybe some women are, but by and large I do agree with what evolution and generally science dictates and shows that women by and large are seeking other matters. They do
Yeah.
also enjoy and partake in these experiences of uh, you know of um, of intimacy, and they enjoy all of this just as much. If so it's not. I disagree with people who say men are more sexual per nature. It's just that they women may be seeking something else. That's all. So I'm
Yeah.
not trying to say they lack or are less. I don't feel maybe they're even more in some ways, but it's different. I think that I feel there's an asymmetry in the kind of targets, the
Okay.
goals. Well, what do you feel? I mean, there's
No,
a lot
no.
of Muath. There's a lot of asymmetry coming from you as well in this whole field. What do you feel? What's
Yeah, I more or less agree with you, Sheikh.
I agree with you. I do
Yeah,
agree.
so what really
it
more
is?
to
But
say.
I feel that this is a very, as a question, it's a very difficult question, because when you hear it as, it's like I was saying before, bridging these gaps, like the cosmos, the quantum, the impersonal, the personal. I feel when it's just stated as a question, you're right. It comes it's difficult to
It's
answer.
difficult. Yeah.
Yeah. Right, people. Well, I think on that note, we should maybe wrap this up. What do you think,
Inshallah.
guys?
Yeah. I'll
Shukran
leave it to
for
it.
tuning
Nah, thank
in.
you so much, man.
Those of you that have kind of like hacked this out, all this kind of this mayhem that we're speaking, if any of it made sense, well, you guys are much more intelligent than we are. So with that, as always, there will be more of these.
Inshallah.
The whole point is, what I want to do is maybe start these off in a very kind of casual nature, just get things a bit like maybe even today. This was very casual, very draft version, just an experiment. We were just messing about on it, and we thought, well, look, let's go live. Why not share some of our thoughts? I would like, obviously, as it kind of progresses, we kind of iron out some of the glitches that there's a much more. I mean, these were very serious conversations, but there's also interviews with ulama and stuff like this. That's what the platform really is for, and it's really for taking difficult dialogues and crucial conversations and having them and navigating through them. That's the whole purpose of all of this. People, take very good care of yourselves wherever you are.